Hello and welcome all back to Election Time News. This episode, Election Time News Canada, the first one. Today is Thursday, March 27th, 2025, and today we're going to be going over the April 28th federal elections. It is 1 month away from tomorrow. Prime Minister Mark Carney called the elections to be done just last week or so, and it's already kicks off pretty quickly. The campaigning season has begun, and it started off looking fantastic for the Liberal Party. That might have been partially why he called the election at this point. The polls have been looking fantastic for the Liberal Party now, of course, with the prime ministership on the line, as it always is. And so it really is looking good. They might actually win a majority government now after a strong showing for the Conservatives for a long time. Now, the timing isn't at all coincidental. If you look, the lowest point for the Liberals was January 6th of this year. That was the day that Donald Trump's election was certified in Congress, and more importantly, the day that Justin Trudeau resigned as leader of the Liberal Party. Now, multiple Canadians for a long time have shown distrust and distaste in Trudeau, and so this turned things around very quickly. 20.1 on January 6th, and then within a month it had gone up to 23, and then by the beginning of this month it had gone up to 30, and now the Liberals are looking at a lead right now against the Conservative Party. The last time the Liberals were leading was a brief period of time in July 2022. So it has been quite a long time since we've had a lead by the Liberal Party. At this point in specific polls, there's been a few, and it's not even that close as far as specific recent polls go. There's not even a single one here that have been done in the past week that have the Conservatives in the lead. And of course, the New Democratic Party has been collapsing in support recently. I think that there's been a lot more support for the Liberal Party now that had been in the New Democratic Party, as well as a bit more support for the Conservative Party. But it's their support has collapsed and is almost doing more down at the third party level. And so it's almost just a dual battle between the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party. And so now they actually may be going for a majority government, according to News Interactives on CBC News. There's a 62% probability of the Liberals winning a majority government. Currently, they have a minority government. They only have 152 seats. They are 20 short of a majority. And the Conservatives need 52 seats. They have 120. They need 52 more. So there's a 22% probability of the Liberals having a minority government, a 13% chance of the Conservatives running a minority government, and a 2% probability of the Conservatives having a majority government. Now, this is general odds based on an election today simulation of 5,000 elections. Now, if we look over at 338 Canada, which is literally 538, rest in peace or pieces, depending on how you see it. It's literally Canada's 538. Now, they do say they know it's 343 now. They expanded it to 343 from 342 previously. So it hasn't been 338 for a while, but they have the popular vote projection at 41% plus or minus 5 and 37 plus or minus 4, which means there's absolutely a chance that the Conservatives still could win the popular vote based on this projection. This could go as low as 36, and this one as high as 41. But, of course, polls are going to move generally quicker than the actual ideation of the Canadian public. It's also true for American public as well. But the most statistically likely, based on this projection here, is 185 seats, anywhere from 159 to 213. And for the Conservatives, is 127. The New Democratic Party is collapsing, only having 6 seats. If you look currently, they have 24, so that would mean that they would be basically battling for official party status at this point. 338 Canada odds of winning the most seats is now 97% for the Liberals, as opposed to on Poll Tracker, that is going to be an 84% chance. So it's a bit better for the Liberals according to 338 Canada, but as you can see here, of course, the polls have shifted very hard in the Liberal Party's direction. They eclipsed the Conservative Party on the 18th, and of course Trudeau resigning right here was the reason that the Liberal Party started coming back, and it kind of slowed down, but then they picked Carney as the leader, and then it started rising again, whether that was just a bit of a lag in more growth, or whether it was actually because of Carney is a different chance. Now, here's the projection of winning the most seats. They had Conservatives at over 99% chance. Then, out of nowhere, in late February to early March, the chances plummeted, and then they switched in early March, and then the Liberal Party took a strong lead. And this is their election outcome probability projection. So, looking over at the actual map, these are their projections. I did put this over on the YapMS map here. These are all of the safe and likelies. The leans and the tilts / toss-ups are not marked here. And this is the new map. These are the current results. This is the old map. This is 352. This includes the 3 members that were either removed from their party or left their party, as well as the 4 vacant seats from people who were either ejected or left. So 152 to 120 to 33 to 24 to 2 to 3. And so from there, it's quite a bit of an upwards battle for the Conservatives yet again, while it, even though appeared that it would be an easy win for the Conservative Party, even, at the beginning of the calendar year, I think it would have been a landslide. Now, all of a sudden, the game has changed dramatically. If you look back before, right around the time of the American presidential election, November 4th, that's the day before, I believe, November 5th, yes, that sounds right, 23% for the Liberals, 42% for the Conservatives. That is almost double, and now we have a slight lead for the Liberals. Now the question is, will this continue? Will this trend continue? Will there be more strong polls like this, or will we end up with a Liberal collapse? Now, there's been another news thing, I believe, that Carney actually said that he's not going on to a French-speaking show for a debate. So that could potentially end up harming things, especially in some of the more French-speaking regions, which I believe there are Southern Ontario and, of course, Quebec, as they were, of course, colonized by the French first before the British took over the entirety of Canada, but then there's still quite a bit left. There's still 72 seats, but the Liberals, just based on the almost certain seats, have a 50-seat advantage here. So that's not going to be too easy for the Conservatives to make up, but based on, if you have anything close to the numbers even that you were seeing in early March or late February, if those end up coming back, I could probably end up swinging it in their direction for these closer seats here. You have some redistricting, of course. I believe, yeah, you can see the New Democratic Party's crash in support here. The Skeena, of course, was one of them that, let me turn on tooltips here. Yes, Skeena here is now safe for the Conservative Party. It had been a New Democratic Party seat. Same thing. Same thing for Northern. I forget the name of that island. Wow. But quite a few of these northern regions up here are now toss-up between the conservatives and the liberals, even though they used to be strong support for the new Democratic Party. So they are struggling at this point in time to, I guess, maintain relevancy even. And it seems like their movement is collapsing at the same time as the main tension between the liberals and the conservatives is actually getting tighter than it's been in a long time. The last time, again, that the liberals were in the lead was mid-2022. So this is the tightest that it's been since early August of 2022. Then the conservatives started to break away, and they held a somewhat strong lead. The margin of error overlapped a bit through November into December, and then even back into May 2023. Then they broke away, and now we're actually at the point where the liberals are actually leading by more than the margin of error, according to some individual polls. But as you can see here, margin of error is 3.1, so that could be as low as 38. That could be as high as 40, so that means that they're still within the margin of error. But here, 44 and 39 with 2.5, that would mean that that is 41.5 and 41.5. So that's tied. That worst case scenario for the Liberal Party is a tied poll right there. So just based on that in and of itself is a large sign for the Liberals that there's definitely movement towards their party, as quite obvious as there has been. The question is, how long will it continue for, and how will it carry over? Now, of course, this is going to be a more, today I was planning on just doing a more general video, as I have yet to learn more about the specifics. I'm going to have to look into these swing districts and such. I will be coming out with more videos somewhat soon on some of these more specific areas, but more for a more general overview on the potential comeback of the Liberal Party for the first time in 2 years and how things might go. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to check out any future videos if I've made them yet, and have a fantastic rest of your evening.